Hello everyone, welcome to GS Core. Today in this session we'll be discussing about current affairs through MCQs, and the topic of discussion is environment and ecology. Let us start with the questions. First question is, which one of the following organizations has launched Plan B that was recently in the news? Right? So this Plan B was started by Northeast Frontier Railways. Northeast Frontier Railways. And the objective of this plan was to keep elephants away from railway tracks. Right? So this plan was started to keep elephants away from railway tracks. Right? And this plan has also won the Best Innovation Award by Indian Railways. Right? So the answer for this question is D, Indian Railways. Next question. With reference to household air pollution, consider the following statements. Right? So household air pollution is the result of use of unclean fuel. It is the result of use of unclean fuel for various activities, primarily cooking and for lighting purposes. Unclean fuel is used like the traditional chulhas, wood is used, even cow dung cakes are used for cooking purposes, and that leads to pollution, and that pollution emits various pollutants like PM 2.5 and PM 10, then ozone O3, then lead, nitric oxide, and even sulfur dioxide. These pollutants are emitted in household air pollution. Now let us consider the statements. First statement is, household air pollution consists of emissions generated by the burning of solid fuels in households. Right? So this statement is a correct statement because more often than not, solid fuels are contributing to household air pollutions like wood, cow dung cakes, etc. Right? So first statement is correct statement. Second, it takes form of both indoor household air pollution and outdoor household air pollution. Right? So this statement is also a correct statement because the pollutants which are generated inside the dwellings, inside the houses, contribute to indoor household air pollution, and these pollutants also escape in the outside environment and they contribute to outdoor household air pollution. Right? So household air pollution results in both the types of pollutions, indoor pollution as well as outdoor pollution, and that's why second statement is also a correct statement, and hence answer is both 1 and 2. Next question now. Which of the following pollutants are monitored by SUFFER app? Right? So SUFFER app is an initiative of Ministry of Earth Sciences. Ministry of Earth Sciences. And this SUFFER app monitors various kinds of pollutants like, so pollutants monitored are firstly it is PM 2.5 and PM 10, PM 2.5 and PM 10, then sulfur dioxide, ozone, nitrogen oxides, then carbon monoxide, CO, carbon monoxide, and also various kinds of VOCs, volatile organic compounds like benzene, toluene or toluene and xylene. Right, so these volatile organic compounds are also monitored under SUFFER app. So this clearly shows that there is no carbon dioxide. Carbon dioxide is not monitored by SUFFER app, and same is the case with air quality index. Air quality index also does not monitor carbon dioxide. Right, so in only option number A, we do not have carbon dioxide, and that is our answer. Right, so answer of this question is PM 2.5, PM 10, sulfur dioxide and nitrogen oxides mentioned in option A. Right, so answer is A. Next question. Consider the following statements about coral reefs. Right, so we know that coral reefs are the result of symbiotic association. They are the result of symbiotic association between coral polyps and zooxanthellae algae. Right, so these coral polyps animal and this algae form symbiotic association, and ultimately when coral polyps die, they leave behind their limestone skeleton, which leads to formation of coral reefs eventually. Right, so that is coral reefs. Now let us consider the statements. First is, coral species that build reef and look like colorful plants or graceful trees are called soft corals. Right, so first statement is an incorrect statement, because soft corals do not lead to formation of reef. Soft corals do not lead to formation of reefs. They look like plants or graceful trees, and they are soft corals, but it is hard corals that lead to formation of these reefs. So first statement is an incorrect statement. Second statement, the Great Barrier Reef located off New Zealand's east coast is the largest coral reef in the world. So this statement is again an incorrect statement, because we know that Great Barrier Reef is located off the coast of Australia and not New Zealand. Right, so second statement is also an incorrect statement. So both these statements related to coral reefs are incorrect. Hence answer is D, neither one nor two. Next question. With reference to fourth cycle of All India Tiger Estimation, consider the following statements. Right, so in 2018, the fourth cycle of All India Tiger Estimation was conducted. Let us consider the statements. First, All India Tiger Estimation is done every 4 years by National Tiger Conservation Authority. Right, so this statement is a correct statement, because we know that in India tiger estimation is done by NTCA, National Tiger Conservation Authority, which is a statutory organization. NTCA is a statutory organization under Wildlife Protection Act 1972, which was amended in 2006. Right, NTCA was formed in 2005 and it was made statutory organization in 2006. Next, second statement. Karnataka has the maximum number of tigers in India. So this statement is an incorrect statement, because it is the state of Madhya Pradesh. It is the state of Madhya Pradesh where we have largest number of tigers, and it is 526. In Karnataka we have 524 tigers. So second statement is incorrect. Third statement. MStrip's application for digital estimation of tiger population is developed by by Wildlife Institute of India. Right, so this statement is a correct statement. MStrip is monitoring system for tigers' intensive protection and ecological status. So it is developed by WII, Wildlife Institute of India. So third statement is a correct statement. So both first and third statements are correct. Second is incorrect, and that's why our answer is A, 1 and 3 only. Next question now. Which of the following statements regarding Great Indian Bustard are correct? right? So the question is regarding Great Indian Bustard. Recently, many news articles were there related to Great Indian Bustard and how the solar plants in the states, especially in the state of Rajasthan, is leading to harmful effects on Great Indian Bustard. Right? Let us consider the statement. First statement: it is listed as endangered in the IUCN's red list. First statement is incorrect statement because we know that Great Indian bustards are critically endangered. They are critically endangered species. Fine. So first statement is incorrect. Second, it is a flagship species of grassland ecosystem. Right. So this statement is a correct statement, as the habitat of Great Indian bustard is a grassland ecosystem. The Great Indian bustards are a flagship species. That means they are a key species which attracts attention for grassland ecosystem. Right. So second statement is a correct statement. Third, Project Godawan was launched by Gujarat to conserve the Great Indian Bustard. So this statement is an incorrect statement because Project Godawan was launched by the state of Rajasthan. Right, it is launched by the state of Rajasthan and it was launched in year 2013 to conserve the Great Indian Bustard. Right, so it is not the initiative of Gujarat. So third statement is also incorrect. So only second statement is correct and that's why our answer is B, 2 only. Next question. Consider the following statements regarding ozone pollution. Right, so we know that ground level ozone is a pollutant and it is one of the important components of ozone at ground level is an important component of photochemical smog. Photochemical smog, and this photochemical smog is produced because of the reaction between VOCs, volatile organic compounds, and oxides of nitrogen. When they react with each other in the presence of sunlight, that leads to formation of photochemical smog, and ozone is a component of photochemical smog. Let us consider the statements. First, ozone is a secondary pollutant which gets directly emitted from vehicles, industries, or power plants. So this statement is an incorrect statement. This much statement is correct. Ozone is a secondary pollutant. This is correct statement. But as it is a secondary pollutant, it is not directly emitted from vehicles and industries, right? Secondary pollutants are the pollutants which are formed as a result of reaction between primary pollutants and certain environmental factors. Right? So secondary pollutants are not directly emitted from different sources like vehicles and industries. They are formed in the environment as a result of reaction between primary pollutants and certain environmental factors. Right? In this case, primary pollutants are volatile organic compounds and nitrogen oxides, and environmental condition is sunlight. So that leads to formation of a secondary pollutant called as photochemical smog, and this photochemical smog also consists of ozone, right? And that's why first statement is an incorrect statement. Second, ozone can reduce photosynthesis and slow the plant growth, right? So we know that ozone at the ground level is a pollutant, and one of the major impacts of ground level ozone is that it affects photosynthesis. And as photosynthesis is affected, plant growth will also be slowed down because of ozone. And that's why second statement is a correct statement. Third, Gothenburg Protocol aims to abate acidification, eutrophication, and ground level ozone. Right? So this statement is a correct statement. Gothenburg Protocol, which came into being in 1999, it sets limits for 4 important pollutants. Which are those pollutants? It is sulfur dioxide, then nitrogen oxides, then volatile organic compounds, VOCs, and ammonia, right? So it sets limits for these pollutants, and nitrogen oxides and VOCs, they lead to formation of photochemical smog, and hence Gothenburg protocol is important protocol to even control the formation of photochemical smog, as it sets the limits for the raw material which leads to formation of photochemical smog, right? So only second and third statements are correct, but question asks us to find out incorrect statements. So only first is incorrect, and hence answer is A, one only, right? Next question now. Next question is, with reference to Earth Overshoot Day, consider the following statements. First, it is the date when humanity's demand for ecological resources in a given year exceeds what Earth can generate in that year, right? So first of all, what is Earth Overshoot Day? Earth Overshoot Day was initiated in 2006, and it is the day at which humanity's demand for the resources, that means the resources that we get from nature, so the humanity's demand for those resources overshoots or exceeds the capacity of Earth to regenerate those resources, right? So first statement is a correct statement because it is the date when humanity's demand for ecological resources in a given year is exceeding that year's Earth's capacity to regenerate those resources. So first statement is a correct statement. And Earth Overshoot Day for 2022, for year 2022, was 28th of July. And when it was started in 2006, the first Earth Overshoot Day was in October, right? That means the demand of human beings on or for ecological resources is increasing, and that's why the day is getting closer these days, right? So if the day is closer to 31st of December, that means humanity's demands on ecological resources with respect to the biocapacity of Earth is lesser, and that would be a better scenario. But as it is getting closer to the January, it is alarming situation because we are using so much resources than the capacity of Earth to regenerate those resources. So first statement is a correct statement. Second, it is calculated by Global Footprint Network. So this is also a correct statement. It is calculated by Global Footprint Network. Third, a country will only have an overshoot day if their ecological footprint per person is greater than global biocapacity per person, right? So countries' Earth Overshoot Day will be the day if that country's demand for ecological resources is more per person than the global biocapacity per person, right? So that is again a correct statement. So all these statements related to Earth Overshoot Day are correct, and hence answer is D, 1, 2 and 3. Next question now. Consider the following statements about biofencing, right? So biofencing, it is also known as live fencing. Why it is known as live fencing? Because here we use various plants which acts as a kind of fencing, and they give us protection from various wild animals, from wind speed, and even from the advancement of desert, right? And that's why it is called as live fencing, because it is a fencing of plants, trees, etc. Fine. So let us consider the statements first. It is planting of trees or shrubs on farm or field boundaries that provide protection against cattle and wildlife, right? So first statement is a correct statement because the plants which are planted as a biofencing, they provide us protection against cattle and wildlife. Second, this biotic method is environment friendly and harvesting of such plants can also be economical for farmers, right? So it is environment friendly because we are planting trees here, and also harvesting the resources of such plants will also be providing certain benefits to farmers, right? So this statement is also a correct statement. So both these statements regarding biofencing are correct, and hence answer is C, both 1 and 2. Next question. Who is the ex officio chairperson of the National Board for Wildlife? Right, so NBWL. NBWL is a statutory organization. It is a statutory organization, and it is formed under the Wildlife Protection Act 1972. It is formed under Wildlife Protection Act 1972. This board is advisory in nature. It is advisory in nature, and its important role is to ensure that the biodiversity, or there is conservation and development of wildlife and forest in India. It is the prime role played by the NBWL, promotion of conservation and development of wildlife and forest, right? And it is an important organization because the boundaries of national parks or wildlife sanctuaries cannot be altered without the approval of NBWL, without its approval, right? So that is also an important aspect of NBWL, and it is headed by the Prime Minister of India, right? So answer is B. It is the Prime Minister who heads the National Board for Wildlife, and Vice Chairperson is the Minister for Environment, Forest and Climate Change, right? So answer is B. So that is about these current affairs related questions. Thank you.